I'm Bilal Malas, Head of Client Success at Lux Sales Consulting, and today I'm joined with Muizz. Muizz is a financial planner out of Canada and has joined us a little over a month ago and has had some amazing results, especially as a successful planner, being in the industry for quite some time now. And Muizz is targeting incorporated medical professionals. And so he's been getting about, I think we're at 14 calls that are about to be booked, discovery calls with incorporated professionals, talk about estate planning, financial planning, insurance needs. These are the typical needs that, these types of high-level professionals and business owners have. And so Muizz, before we dive deeper into your story, if you can please quickly introduce yourself. So your name, where you're from, and what's your specialty, like what your value statement, what you specialize in.
Sure. Thanks, Bilal. My name is Muizz, a financial planner based out of Canada. And what I've been doing is primarily focusing on the needs of incorporated medical professionals, specifically in the area of tax as it relates to growth of investments and eventually from transition of assets out of the corporation.
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate you for sharing that. I'm sure you do amazing work, because I know that this is a deep pain point for them. They're so busy, they don't get even the time to sit down and actually think about these kind of things until it's too late. So I just want to say amazing work. And I'd love to dive deeper into, before joining the SLS framework. So you went independent as a financial planner, and you were kind of faced with not having the right resources to grow your practice predictably. And I just wanted to talk about kind of before, like what were you scrambling to do and achieve before joining the SLS framework to kind of find results?
Sure. So, I mean, as everybody knows at this point, the world went digital or remote and virtual with the advent of COVID. So a lot of what I used to do prior to joining the SLS framework was primarily seminars in person, and with the advent of COVID, didn't really have that ability. So started trying to pivot to a more webinar-based approach, and realized as well that LinkedIn was an untapped resource. Tried to do this on my own to see how I could build up connections, get conversations started, get meetings booked from LinkedIn, hearing that people were having success, but had a very limited success track record with it. And so needed to find something else, which is what the SLS framework was able to provide.
And then, you joined our SLS framework. We launched your campaigns, and we're about scheduling 14 calls with those discovery calls with those incorporated professionals. And these are serious conversations, right down to business. It's no black and white or gray. It's no gray area. It's pure business. Let's talk. And they see you as a trusted advisor. And one thing also I'd love to also talk about is how you went after a very competitive niche, right? Incorporated medical professionals in Canada with a population of 33 million. And more importantly, we have other clients targeting incorporated medical professionals in Canada, and you're still getting the results. And I just want to get your thoughts on that. Like, that's some of the limiting beliefs and some of the rebuttals we get as well, is like you as well. Like, what do you feel? Like, there's a lot of competition. How do you feel that you were able to stand out using the SLS framework? And how do you, how are those calls going and still being able to stand out? Like, what kind of value, what do you think people are seeing your prospects? What are they feeling from you that's kind of different from all the competition? That's my point.
Absolutely. So one thing that I would say before talking about my experience specifically is something that the SLS framework talks about, and even with the way that it works. So the SLS framework isn't looking to target anybody and everybody to do anything and everything as it relates to marketing. So you'll notice that one of the value propositions that the SLS framework provides is financial advisors looking very specifically to build up digital marketing through LinkedIn. And so if that is the case, they actually follow what they have put out as their own value statement in how we build our own value statements through the framework, i.e., before going and just starting a campaign, who are you going to target? What is their specific pain point? How can you make sure that whatever you are saying, whatever you are doing is specific to them? So yes, it is a competitive landscape, but I'm not looking to target every single professional that happens to have an MD or a DDS or an OD designation behind them. It is actually looking at a very specific set of that target within that niche to say, which of those professionals do I feel that I can provide most value to, and which would resonate with the messaging that I have to provide. And that I feel is what has has been able to lead to success. So yes, it can be a crowded a place to be prospecting, whether you pick a retiree, whether you pick a professional, whatever the case is. But if you truly understand what they are looking for, I feel that you'll be able to generate a campaign and messaging that resonates with them, and that will generate your success.
And what's interesting as well, and I appreciate you for sharing that with us, is especially in Canada, there's MD management, who's like, you know, an Omni Presence for incorporated medical professionals. I mean, they can't, you know, they can't go to Starbucks without getting an ad for it, I bet. So, you know, I just want to commend you, because you independent financial planners, you, SEMA, people like you guys, you bring so much value to these people, because I'm sure they've had enough of like just being pitched their own same thing and hearing horror stories from these big wirehouses, right? I think that's where you guys bring the value, and I appreciate you for being out there, you know, beating the competition in a way that, you know, people trust you, you bring value to them where, you know, where they need, and you understand their pain points more than anyone else. Whereas, you know, these other companies are failing them. So I just want to say that's amazing. And I have two last questions. The next one being, what is one specific point in throughout your very short journey? So, and it's been a month and a little over a month. What do you feel is like the biggest win so far?
So honestly, my biggest win is actually being able to come back and tell you that I have booked 14 meetings in a month, where previously trying the same thing over the course of numerous months, I'd be lucky. Yes, you get connections and they'd accept and all of that stuff. But to generate one, maybe two appointments in the span of 2 to 3 months would normally be what I'm used to. So having such a quick turnaround and getting people that are, you know what, like everything else, there will be people that'll come on to hear what you got to say, and not everybody will become a client, and you need to understand that and expect that. So this is not a magic machine that's going to start generating clients right away, and everybody that signs on is going to be one. But just being able to get in front of people the way that I was previously through seminars has been my biggest win really for all this.
Absolutely. And even right now you're doing webinars, so that's amazing. You're supplementing that with, you know, the people that you're connecting with, you're letting them know about your webinar, and you're building your pipeline as such. And what would you say to someone who's on the verge of another independent financial planner out of Canada, who's on the verge of joining the SLS framework? What would you tell them?
Sure. I mean, so if you are looking for a quick hit to say that this is going to be my end all be all solution, it will over time. But just like everything else, it is something that requires time to be put in. So it's not something that you can just plug in and you'll start getting appointments right away. There is work that needs to be done. But if you do put in the work, then it is definitely a system that I think can generate the results that you're looking for. But like everything else, you get what you inspect, not what you expect. So don't expect results, but if you inspect the system and follow the guidance that's provided and the support that you're given, then yes, certainly it is something that can generate the results that you're looking for.
Absolutely. And Muizz, I just want to commend you for showing up every day with our coaching team on the Q&A calls as well. We have those weekly, and we've been able to generate some amazing results up until now. Obviously, there's still a lot of amazing work to be done, and I'm looking forward for you to make you know, your first couple of sales, generate a lot more appointments. And Muizz, so I just want to appreciate you for hopping on today, and that should be it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Bilal. Thank you as well for the SLS team, because you guys have been awesome to make sure that I can get to where I am now. So yes, I would definitely suggest not only signing on, but also taking full advantage of the support, because it is not only a valuable resource, but I would say a necessary resource to get you from where you are to where you need to go.
Thank you very much, Muizz.